We're back with more of Dr. Gina live from Israel. Tell the truth. Why is it so slanted against Israel, as if to demonize Israel no matter what the truth is? What are your thoughts on that?
So, Barry, I don't want to put it this way, but I honestly don't know how else to put it. The Democrats have sided with terror in this particular instance. And I really feel like, I think this is going to be the demise of the Democrat Party. I truly do. None of the decisions they're making are rational at this point. Certainly siding with terror is not rational. Certainly deciding against, siding against, for example, angel moms with regard to the MS-13, as they did recently, as Nancy Pelosi very clearly did. Certainly siding against life at every turn. When you have a lot of pro-life Dixiecrats, a lot of pro-life Democrats in the Rust Belt, too, that want to be represented. The fact that Nancy Pelosi and her ilk completely control the money inside of politics is the problem for the Democrats, because that doesn't speak to the rank and file Democrats. And they're destroying their own party from within. And I hope they kind of stay this course that they're on right now, because I think that it will mean the total implosion of the Democrat Party. And I don't know what happens next. And we might end up in a three-party system. I could see that happening, which would give Republicans a massive advantage.
Your comment about Nancy Pelosi is interesting. I'm hearing more and more from pundits in the United States that Nancy Pelosi is the best thing that ever happened to the Republican Party. And if she stays in her position as minority leader, wanting to become Speaker again, should the Democrats recover a majority in the House of Representatives, that scares a lot of people towards the other side of the political fence. We'll see if you're right or not. So going back to Israel, the embassy gets moved. Obviously, there was a ceremony a few weeks ago. Tell me something. Why is it that after voting over and over and over again for the embassy to be placed in Jerusalem, where it belongs, as you and I both know, Israel is the only country in the world that for some weirdo reason doesn't get to name their own capital and doesn't get to tell other countries where the embassy should go. So the United States finally honors its law, in place since '95. Trump makes the decision. Why did not one single Democrat who voted for that law or supported that law since '95 make the trip to Israel? What do you make of that, Dr. G?
Well, the answer to that is simple, Barry. The Democrats couldn't attend the event like the opening of the embassy here. Exactly. Because they don't tolerate dissent in any way, shape, or form. When they talk about tolerance, they're actually the most intolerant. And why they talk about, staying close to the American people and standing up for the little guy. They're not the ones standing up for the little guy. There's no littler guy than Israel. Look where Israel's located geographically. Doesn't exactly take a rocket scientist to figure that out. And so they're not standing for the little guy. They're not standing for the victims anymore. They're not standing against terror. They're not standing even up for the American people at this point. So I think that their monolithic groupthink has put them in a place. It really is. As a therapist, you're never supposed to diagnose someone without having a clinical evaluation. Well, let me say I've clinically evaluated the Trump derangement syndrome folks out there, and I can tell you their derangement has gone so far, it has become self-destructive, and that's where they are now. So it's history's going to tell this story about the greatest president that America's ever had, the one who not only saved America, but quite possibly had a lot of influence in saving countries like Israel, who also appreciate their freedom and their religious freedom.
Trump derangement syndrome, I totally love it. I've been making comments for 18 months now about the Democrat Party has become the party of, we hate Trump so much, let me count the ways. It's shocking how it has become the party of, we hate Trump, don't we? And I wonder what the views of middle America are going to be at the next election when they can choose between Trump and we hate Trump. If that's the choice, it's not going to bode well for their party.